Take a quick test with me right now. Do any of these statements sound familiar? Oh man, how I would love to be out of debt, but there's just no way. It's insurmountable. Maybe I'm just not meant to be with somebody. Maybe I'm destined to be single. I would start doing that tomorrow if I had enough money to do it. We'll never be able to get that house. Look at it. We're never going to escape this situation. Nothing ever works out for me. I think maybe I'm just unlucky. I wish that I could do this, but I'm just not smart enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not beautiful enough. I don't have the breaks other people have had. The things that's happened in my life are not my fault. Does any of that sound familiar to you? Well, the truth is that's because you are stuck in the same loop you have always lived in. But I got some good news for you. You can change it, and you can change it today, and I want to help you to do it. I want to look with you at 5 things that are 5 elements of the loop we stay stuck in our life. And I've got some good news for you. You can change the loop, and you can use those 5 things that are controlling the reality you do not want to flip the switch on it and change it into the reality you do want. And for those of you that hang around to the end here, I'm going to share with you a practice that is so simple. You're going to say, why did I not think of this already? Why have I not been doing this all my life? Because this simple practice is going to change it all for you. By the way, now would be a great time to subscribe if you haven't already to the channel. I would love it if you like this video, if you leave me a comment. It helps me to know how to make you more content, and it helps my channel grow. We help each other, and I think that's what this planet's all about. Dr. Joseph Spenza is a great teacher and neuroscientist who has come up with some great things about how we function in our brain and in our heart and our minds and in our bodies. And he shares some information about this cycle that we live in and how we can flip the switch and we can change it all. And I want to share some brief parts of that. And after reading many of his books and watching hours and hours and hours of his videos, as well as many others who share on these same concepts, I want to narrow it all down to these 5 simple core elements that keep us stuck in our cycle, and one simple thing you can do to change it. Here it is. First of all, it all starts with your thoughts. That's the first element of the cycle that keeps you being you. It's how you think about yourself and what you think throughout your day. All the big picture thoughts you think about yourself and the little thoughts that you think on through the day keep you being you. And the truth is 90% of those thoughts you don't even have control of in your life because they're happening at a subconscious level. About 90% of the thoughts, and there's about 60 to 70,000 thoughts you think every day, are the same thoughts you thought yesterday because you're stuck in a cycle. Now, the good news is the you that's inside of you can change that all, and we're going to talk about that here in just a minute. But it all starts with the way you're thinking. If you're thinking some of the things we mentioned at the front of the video, it's simply because your subconscious has been programmed by you and by others who influence you to think that way. The great news is you don't have to keep thinking that way. The second element in the cycle is your feelings. If the mind is in control of the thoughts, the body is in control of the feelings or the emotions you have in your life. And what happens is thoughts and emotions are kind of like 2 cellmates in a prison who have been forced into the same cell and often do not get along. Your thoughts and your emotions fight with one another to keep you in a cycle of the life that you're living. And if it's a life you don't want to be living, those 2 cellmates don't get along. And what happens in your body is you live by familiar emotion. You start to feel a feeling that you might not even be able to pinpoint or recognize, but a feeling of sadness, a feeling of depression, a feeling of anxiety, a feeling of anger, whatever it might be, all these negative emotions. And your thoughts are so in a loop with your body and so used to fighting, you start to feel that feeling, and then you start to think familiar thoughts that you've thought all your life. Things like, I can't, I would, but I don't have enough money. They don't care about me. I don't get the breaks others. All these thoughts start to roll based on those feelings. And as the brain feeds those thoughts back down to the body, It's in all of this disharmony, and it fights back with even stronger emotions that agrees with the brain on those points. And you just stay in this cycle of tension in your life. Dispenza calls a lot of how we live our lives in modern society this fight, flight, or freeze mode. And you know all about that probably. We live in a state of stress where your body's constantly pumping cortisol into your system, and you're constantly living in a state that was intended to be very temporary, a few minutes to escape a lion in the jungle. But we live there 90% of our day, and our heart and our mind are in disharmony. There's no coherence there. There's constant inner turmoil, whether you know it or you're aware of it completely or not, and it keeps you stuck in the same cycle in your life. So your thoughts lead to your feelings. Well, your feelings lead to your behaviors. Your behaviors are what's going on with you on the outside of you. It's the things you do. It's the way you respond to people. It's the way you talk to friends and enemies, family, whoever it might be. It's the way you react when you're stressed. It's the things you do that are habitual in your life. It's the addictive behavior that takes place in your life. It's your behaviors. And it's all driven by your thoughts and your feelings about who you are and how you live your life. So we get caught in these traps and these cycles with the same thoughts, the same emotions, and it leads to the same behaviors over and over in our life. And what is that going to lead to? It's going to lead to the same beliefs about how life works. You believe life works in a certain way, and the reason you have limiting beliefs, you don't believe you can do better, you don't believe you can change it all, is because your thoughts and your feelings tell you this is the way it has always been, this is the way it'll always be. And by the way, your brain likes to run in the familiar. It does that to protect you. But if you're not in control of your thoughts and in control of your emotions and telling your body and your brain how you want to live, guess what it's going to do? It's going to run on the old program. It's going to keep being the you that you've pre-programmed it to be all of your life, and you're going to keep having the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same emotions. You're going to keep repeating the same behaviors, and it's going to lead to a belief system that keeps you convinced that you can't, and you're not smart enough, or you're not pretty enough, or you don't have enough money, or it's never going to work out, or things never work in your favor. Whatever your belief system is about you that you don't want, it will keep you there in that belief system as you stay in that cycle. And we all do this. Well, finally, what happens after you think the same thoughts and you feel the same feelings and you keep doing the same behaviors and you hold the same beliefs, your actions keep going in the same direction. The reason your life is not changing is you're doing the same things you've always done. And if you keep doing the same things you've always done, you're going to keep living the same life you have always lived. And you stay in this cycle of thoughts, of feelings or emotions, whatever you want to call that, of behaviors, of beliefs and actions. And it keeps you being the same person you've always been. Now, here is the good news. You can break free. And when you do break free and you learn to take control inwardly of your thoughts and your emotions, you start to rewire your brain, you start to rewire your heart, which, by the way, puts out a physical energy. You don't believe it, have a heart problem, go into the ER, and they're going to hook you to probes that measure your heart energy on the outside of your body. So you're putting out these waves of energy that's affecting your reality. So when you change your brain waves and your heart waves, your thoughts and your emotions, you're going to start to introduce a whole new way of living into the cycle. You start to change the way you believe, you start to change the way you feel, you start to change the way you behave, you start to change the way you act, and you finally change your life. All of these things start to change in your life. But how do we do it? What's the practical step that we can take? Because I don't know about you, about a year ago, before I started rewiring my brain, I didn't believe I could change my thoughts. I didn't believe I could change my feelings, and I sure didn't believe I could change my life, the actions, the things that are going on the outside. I have learned that to be absolutely false. My brain was lying to me, my heart was lying to me, and I changed it all. So here's the payoff. No suspense any longer. One practice, but really one concept to understand that's the foundation of the practice. The concept is awareness. You just have to become aware of what's really going on all the time in your body. The real you that lives in your brain is not your thoughts. It's not your emotions. It's your consciousness. It's who you really are. It's the real, some people call it your soul, the real you that is in there. And if you don't believe that's separate from your thoughts and your emotions, you can cause your thoughts to behave the way you want them to behave, and you can cause your emotions to behave the way you want them to behave. Now, I'm not saying there's not extreme circumstances that come into our life, like grief and loss and big moments that are unexpected. Of course, you're going to have moments that you're not in control of the thinking and the emotion, but you don't want to live your whole life like that. The conscious you, the real you, the you that's you, your soul, your person is in control of all that. If you don't believe this is true, do this with me one time. For just a minute, get really silent. Now, inside your head, without opening your mouth, as loud as you can, scream your name. Just scream it right now, as loud as you can in your head. Did you do it? Who did that? You did that. You told your thoughts what to do, and they did it. That's the real you. That's the you that's beyond the thinking you. That's your conscious doing that. You can do the same thing and now tell it to whisper. Whisper your name inside. You can tell yourself what you want yourself to do, and that goes beyond your thoughts to the conscious, real you. And awareness is just becoming conscious. It's just about getting aware of the thoughts you're thinking, the feelings you're thinking, and just watching them. And what I want to challenge you to do, not just to begin by this, but to do this all the time. Don't stop thinking your thoughts or thinking your emotions. Don't fight them. That's resistance. And resistance is the biggest blockage you have to changing your life, to manifesting your dream life, if you want to call it that. Resistance will keep you from living the life that you want to live. So don't resist the thoughts. Just learn to become aware of them. You hear any person on the eastern side of the world talk about meditation, and these guys have been doing it for thousands of years. They know all about it. They will tell you awareness is the key to all of it. Not fighting, not struggling against the thoughts and emotions that come up, but just becoming aware of them, where they're coming from, what you're feeling, and then just letting them leave your body naturally. When you start doing that, you'll change it all. That's what I've started doing in my life more recently. It's just when emotions come up, I get aware of them. I practice awareness. That's that foundational principle. I'm feeling angry. Where do I feel that? Well, I feel it in my heart. I'm feeling confused about why this person's talking to me like this. Where do I feel that? I'm feeling that kind of in my brain. Most thoughts only last about 90 seconds. Sit with that thought, that feeling for about 90 seconds. Don't judge it. Don't criticize it. Don't try to change it. Just let it be there and understand it's there, and understand that's your thoughts, that's your emotions. That's not your consciousness. That's not the real you. Just let it work its way out, and it releases as negative energy out of your body. And you're going to start freeing up room for your heart to become more coherent with your brain as you start practicing some breathing exercises, which I have all kinds of videos. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe below here. There's all kinds of stuff on here about how to do that, some heart breath coherence or some heart mind coherence, and how to do breathing through your heart so your heart beats more coherently and you feel more of this peace throughout the day. But it's all really just about awareness, being aware of what you're thinking, when you're thinking it, why you're thinking it, what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and just letting it come. 90 seconds there, and it's going to go, and you're going to be freed up to be creative and start changing the cycle of becoming the you want to be, because you'll start changing your thoughts. You'll start changing your feelings. You'll start changing your behaviors, your beliefs, and you'll start changing your actions, and you'll start changing your life. But you said, Jim, you're going to give us a practical way to do this. And here's the practice for those of you who have hung around to the end. One simple word. And I love this. Dispenza shares this in his book about how to break the habit of being yourself. Just throughout the day, as you become aware of negative thoughts, negative emotions, things that are unwanted in your life as they come up, when they come up, say this in your mind. If you're by yourself, say this one word out loud: change. Just say it over and over through the day, and it's going to help you with awareness. Change. I'm feeling anger rising up in me. Let it come up. Let yourself feel it for that 90 seconds or so. Kind of feel where it's coming from. Do you feel it in your heart? Some people feel it in their gut. You might feel it in your throat. That's where I feel tension sometimes. Wherever it is, it's energy in your body. Sit with it. Let it come up. Let it rise up. And once it finishes, say to yourself, change. Change right now. Change. Change the way you think about that. Change the way you feel about that. Change the way you're living your life. Because when you start changing those thoughts you're thinking, and you start changing those feelings you're feeling on the inside, and you take control of the body and you take control of the mind, you start changing your life, because your behaviors are going to become new behaviors. Beliefs are going to become new beliefs, and your actions are going to become new actions, and your life is going to become a brand new life. I promise you this stuff works. I've changed my reality over the last year. It's changed every single aspect of my life. I no longer struggle. Now, I'll get mad every now and then, don't get me wrong, but I no longer struggle with the anger and rage that used to live in me. I live a life that's so much more filled with peace now. I live a life that's filled so much more with purpose. My mind is set on my potential unknown future rather than caught up in the traps of my familiar past. I've left all of that behind for a new life that just keeps unfolding. I see new opportunities almost daily in my life fall into my lap. Encounters, conversations with people, opportunities to do new things. They just constantly come my way now. Why? Because I changed it here and I changed it here, and now it's changed out here, and you can do it too. Change it all today.